All right, here we go. Woohoo! Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hi, Jason. So nice to see your smiling face. Great to have you here today. I think we missed you last time, right? But it's great that you're here. And hey, 2 weeks in a row. Didn't have to wait very long. Hi, Gayle. Oh, Gayle, we can see your desk, but we can't see your pretty face. I want to see my beautiful Gayle's face. Ah, there she is. Yay. Welcome. So nice to see you, sweetie. I'm so glad that we're here. We're going to have a great day today. Ivy is here. Hi, Ivy. Welcome. So nice to see you. I like your sweater. That's kind of a cowl neck, isn't it? I like those cowl necks. It's not quite as like constrictive as a turtleneck, but it's warm. So that's great. That looks classic. Very classic. Monica, there you are, dearest. Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing? It's great to see you. I hope you had a good Halloween. Yeah, it was fun. Patricia! Yay, Patricia's here. Wonderful. Hi. Oh my God, you have such beautiful hair. It's just naturally curly, right? Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm still really digging this kind of blondish thing, you know? Yeah, I think it kind of works. I adjusted faster because mentally I sort of am like a long-haired brunette. I'm also 120 pounds mentally, right? You know, you kind of mentally picture yourself when you're like 20 years old or 22 years old, you know, but that's okay. I like this kind of, you know, middle of life sort of golden goddess thing that I've got going on right now. So it's fine. We have different stages and different ages, and it's all beautiful. Yay! So glad to have you guys here. So we were just here last week, right? Interesting how that worked out. Usually we space them out differently, but I figured what with holidays here in the US at the end of November, it's better not to put our Guidathon later in the month this month. So it's all good. And Gayle and I have been such, I meant Jan, sorry, Gayle, not you, but Jan, who hopefully will be joining us soon. Jan and I have been such busy bees getting so many other goodies for you guys in there. Have you guys been able to get into the portal okay? Everybody getting into the access pretty good still? Okay, good. Just reach out to us if you have any challenges. Most of the stuff, it's new things in silver module 8, new things in gold. We now have a module 3 in gold. And of course, the replays and the Angelic Money Reiki ebook, highlight transcripts. Those are really fun to just kind of look through later and just do that random intuitive check like I was mentioning last time. And I was so fun last week. Some of you missed it. Most of you were there. We had 2 new audios that were created right there live, right? Just 2 of the HeartSeats, like boom, we had our easy abundance and our awaken, allowing happiness now, which really was quite an inner child healing and a soul retrieval and just like so many things going on in both of those. And I've been playing a lot with the money to pay, money to play, money to save, money to give away. You guys like that, right? So it's kind of like, okay, trusting we always have more than enough. Our source is infinite, right? And we make wise choices because money is a resource and it's actually an infinite resource, but at any given moment, we have this concept of having it being finite, that we have X amount of money that week or in the bank account or whatever. So as we kind of develop more of that wise stewardship, you know, we can not worry as much, you know, because let's face it, you can have $20 million in the bank and be worried about money, or you can have $1,000 in the bank and be not worried about money, right? So much of it is just conceptual. Oh, I want to show you guys something fun. Hang on, I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, okay, Michael says to get up off my seat and show you the actual thing. So I'll be right back. You can like count to 10 probably. I'll be back. I want to show you something. So this was pretty fun. I was going through our stack of mail this morning and I got a angel check. The angels sent me $333. You see that? 333, right? I'm like, thank you for making that clear. The funny thing is, I have no idea who this bank is. It says it's a refund for overpayment. I don't even know who this bank is. I don't even have an account there. I'm like, what are you talking about? But hey, some bank is trying to hand me $333. I'm going to deposit that. That's the angels. It's the bank of the angels, right? So that was pretty fun to see that, and with the stack of whatever else piles up in the mail. Right? Ooh, an angel check. So who wants to manifest an angel check this month, right? Yay! So put your intentions out there. Thank you. Thank you, angels. Thank you for miracle money, however it shows up, whether it's a mystery check like that, or just you're walking by and you find $100 bill, or somebody pays for your, drive through Starbucks. I was reading that on my Facebook yesterday. Someone said, oh my God, I was driving through and someone paid for my coffee, So, and then of course, 10 of us immediately said, pay it forward, pay for the next person. Or she didn't think of it. So she's like, oh, I forgot to pay for the next one. But you know what? You can do that anytime, right? You can start a whole pay it forward thing anytime. It doesn't have to be right that minute. So now she's going to go pay for someone else's Starbucks. But it's so fun, even tolls. I mean, little things like that. What does it cost you? $5, right? But you are sending so much pleasure out into the universe. This could be a form of the money to give away, right? And then it makes you feel good, right? Not only does it make someone else, some so-called stranger who's just a friend you haven't met yet, right? Makes someone else feel good, like, wow, look at what just happened, So that's a form of sending miracle money around. One thing I did when the kids were little, with the money to give away theme still, is we actually took dollars and we took a couple of fives. That's about as spendy as we got. But we took some singles and some fives and we just snuck them in different places in our neighborhood. We just kind of stuck them in with like tree branches and stuff. And, so that, what did it cost us? Like, 12 or $15. But it was like, we're planting these little seeds of happiness, because even if somebody finds $1, right? Doesn't that make them feel like, wow, hey, somebody loves me. It's my lucky day, right? It puts a smile on their face. So I want to hear about your pay it forwards and your miracle money manifestations too, money in, money out. And it's interesting because sometimes when we feel, I'll tell you a story. This might have been about maybe 10 years ago, I'm guessing. And we're not really churchy. We don't go to church a lot, but occasionally I feel the urge and I'll go to like a unity church or religious science. And I like to hang out in Catholic churches when there's not a mass going on, just because I like the vibe and the altars and stuff. But one day we were in a unity church service and we were so financially strapped at the moment. This was way before Prosperous Goddess days and I hadn't done my realigning and everything, but it was kind of a magical moment because I was very touched by the minister's service. I don't remember what the topic was, but it was very heartful. It was very sincere. It was very spiritual. And it actually had me laughing and crying. Now, that's a good talk, right? When someone has you both laughing and crying. And I just felt like it opened my heart so deeply. And when the basket came around, we really could only like afford, from like a logical perspective, maybe like $5 or $10. But I had my magic $100 bill with me. You see where this is going, right? And I always try to carry a $100 bill, fold it over so it says, "In God we trust." Our US bills you can do that with. And then that always makes me feel prosperous. Even back when I wasn't as prosperous, I would have that magic 100. And with so many tears, I just did this act of faith of putting that 100 in there, even though it was like stretchy, it was like, that 100 could go to pay for the medical thing, or it could pay for the food, or it could pay for the private school. Our kids were going to Waldorf school, but we had a partial scholarship, but it was still, whatever, $600 a month, whatever. So I'm like, but my heart just said, do it, just do it. So I blessed it and I put the 100 in. And sure enough, I magnetized a whole bunch of extra money that week. So it's a way of, sometimes when we give, when it's the right thing, and I don't mean giving your services away. That's a little different. Some of you guys know who are working with me one-on-one or are in Divine Alignment Goddess Academy. I am not a fan of you giving too much of your services for free, especially not constantly. Occasionally a pro bono thing, of volunteering or doing a trade, or for family or very close friends. Of course, sure, there's going to be people that you don't charge in those circumstances, but in general, you need to charge what your work is worth. That's different from, this is a cause I believe in, this is a way of just giving back, this is a way of showing gratitude, this is a way of showing my source that I trust that more is on the way. I trust that my source is infinite. And that act of trust and kindness and generosity, it always pays you back. It pays you back immediately with how good you feel. And it opens the funnel, right? So there's a time to charge and there's a time to be in receive mode, right? And there's a time to be in give mode. Does this make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it's making sense, right? And it's kind of like a balance. When do I need to give? When do I need to receive? How do I feel, right? And we talk about, in Dago, we talk about intuitive pricing, that that what you're charging, your price is right, whether it's a service or a product or whatever it might be. If you're self-employed, not everyone's self-employed, that's okay too. But if you are, it's kind of like, what do I charge? What do I charge? And you can look at what other people charge. Sure, get an idea for what the market is for that. It's always good to have an understanding of that logically. But then what you really need to charge is what feels good to your heart and your power center. Because your heart wants to give. Your heart always wants to give. Your heart wants to be generous. Your heart's like, yes, help everyone all the time. Give, 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 share the love. That's what your heart is like designed to do, right? And your power center has a bad rap. Everybody's like, oh, power, ego, yucky, bleh, male energy, bleh. Get over it, okay? You have a power center for a reason. It's not like this bad guy. Stop blaming it. Stop feeling bad about your power and your warrior self, okay? Your male energy, yes, power center is male energy typically, but women have it too, right? This wants to receive. This part of you wants to be respected and wants to accomplish and wants to be seen and wants to be heard. Your fifth chakra also wants to be seen and heard. So it has to feel good to both. And when you're charging in your sweet spot, which could be a number or it could be a range, then your heart feels good because it's like, yeah, okay, I'm not overcharging. That feels appropriate. It feels doable. It feels like the people who I'm helping, they can make this happen. Like if I were to charge for wisdom school $10,000 a month, and some of you have told me that it's worth stuff like this, right? I would not feel right. Yeah. I mean, maybe there would be like 1 or 2 or 3 of you who would still be here, right? Hey, I'm helping a lot of your people if I did that, right? And I want to help the right number of people as well as have the right amount of prosperity flowing. But B, it would feel elitist to me. It would feel classist to me. It would feel like, oh, only like people making $200,000 a year could like afford to pay me that, right? Or whatever. So I can't do that because that wouldn't feel aligned. Now there are coaches who they're always like, charge more, double your prices every year. Every year, I swear to God, guys, in the business coaching world, there are coaches who tell you should double your rates every year. And if they can't afford you, fuck them. That's their attitude. They're just like, no, that's too bad. Well, what about your existing clients? You can't just double your prices on your existing clients. Sure you can. If they really want to work with you, they're going to pay you twice as much. Like, who are these people? Like, where are their hearts, right? They're totally coming from the power center. They're totally coming from that, like, greedy thing, right? It's excessive, right? But no, your heart wants to give, but your power center wants to receive. And if you're undercharging, though, that feels just as yucky as overcharging. Because if you're undercharging, if I were to charge you guys $20 a month for this, right? I would be like, what? You know, what? Even with 30 people, I'm only getting $600 a month for like all that I'm doing. Not only the quantity of my time, but the quality of this, right? It would be actually disrespectful to myself. It would be saying to myself that this is just some little piddly shit. And it would be disrespectful to Archangel Michael. I truly feel that. But it would be like saying that his stuff is just not very valuable or meaningful or life-changing. So no, I'm not going to do that either. Right? So you can rest assured, I'm not going to suddenly change the price to $20 a month or $10,000 a month. But you see how there has to be this kind of, okay, this feels right. Yeah. And then occasionally you might make adjustments because you have expanded. Usually your adjustment would be raising, but not like doubling on people overnight. I don't think that's fair or kind, you know, but you might have sort of an incremental increase. I mean, look, there is a cost of living increase, right? Everybody does that. Doctors do that. Everybody does that, you know. But also if you're radically changing what you're providing and you're expanding what you're providing, or it's enhanced, or you've improved your skills somehow, then sure, you should charge more, right? But still within that zone that feels good, you know? And then sometimes you might want to charge less because you're like, oh, I'm doing a special, you know? And you guys will probably see, I usually do for, I don't call it Black Friday because I'm a love and light girl. I call it Bright Friday. It's like, yay, the holidays are coming. Yay, it's bright, it's sparkly. So I usually do have a Bright Friday sale for like 3 days, and I'll, you know, put like a coupon off some of our courses. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. But, you know, that's something that I don't run that special all year round, right? Because generally I want to receive this price, but occasionally for just a special thing, just to reach it out to more people and just to be heartful. And maybe someone can't afford this regular price, but they can afford this price with the $100 off coupon. That they can do that, but that becomes in their zone of, yes, I can do this, you know? So yeah, so it's always like that tuning in, and who is in charge of that? Your intuition, right? Dr. Russell Burke, expert on intuition. It's your intuition helps you feel that. And that's why we talk about intuition so much here. So I wasn't planning on having that ramble about all that, but I feel like it was important because this builds upon what we did last week with ease of abundance, with money to pay, money to play, money to save, money to give away in whatever order. And I think actually last week, as I presented it, we put the save first, which is good. So how many of you guys pay yourself first? How many of you guys have ever paid yourself first? Are you familiar with the concept? You've heard of the concept. Okay. So $500 comes in from wherever your money comes in. I'm just using that number. It could be a different number. $500 comes in. What most people do is they pay the bills, right? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then before they know it, there's nothing left, okay? And then maybe occasionally there's seems to be some extra, right? However, if you have leaky first chakra syndrome, the extra won't result in you saving any money because then some other shit will happen and then the extra seems to go away. So leaky first chakra, we want to do some more healing of that too, right? For some of you guys. But the best thing is when a largest chunk of money comes in. I don't do this if I'm receiving $13, right? Or something like that. But anything largish is my philosophy, but you can do this for anything. If some people are like every single amount that comes in, they do this. Set an amount in your mind. This is your intention to yourself. I don't care if it's 1%. If your money is still sort of tight, then maybe it's only going to be 1%, or maybe it's going to be 5% or 3%, okay? If you have a bit more cushion, then make it 10% or make it 20% or make it 25%, okay? Ask right now, your intuition, your guides and your angels, what is your number for your pay yourself first, okay? And then have a bank account that is not a checking account. It should not be a checking account, okay? Make it a savings account and that goes straight in there, straight away, before you even think of bills. It goes right in there. And you can even set it up as an automatic thing, right? With your banks. Nowadays, we can do all that stuff. We can say, if you know every month, some of you guys have a set amount of money coming in because you have a paycheck or you have retirement checks that you know you get this amount on the 1st, you get this amount on the 15th, right? So set your bank to move this amount of money on the 2nd, on the 16th, whatever, you know, and set that amount. I don't want you to do that. That's part of your home love. Okay. You're going to start paying yourself first. Who's going to start paying themselves first? Who's in? Yay. Pat yourself on the back. Good. And seriously, start at whatever percentage you think you can actually do that you're not really going to notice it that much, right? And then you're just going to see the savings account starts to grow, you know, and you can have more than one savings account. You can have savings accounts for different purposes. I don't like calling it an emergency fund because guess what? You're manifesting then. You don't want that, right? You can call it your retirement fund, or you can call it your play money, or, you know, you can call it your dragon's hoard, or mine is called my dragon treasure. That's what I named my savings account. My dragon treasure. That's so much more positive, right? It's so much more positive. And then I just don't touch it. It's just like there, right? Now, God forbid, if I had an emergency, could I touch it? Sure. But I'm not going to go there, right? That's my dragon treasure. It's just sitting there, growing bit by bit, however much it grows. If your dragon treasure grows $50 a month, it's still assigned to the universe. Okay? It is doing something. If it grows $100 a month, 500, 1,000, 5,000, whatever it is that you can do, it's a lot of it is about the energy and the intention, right? Russell, you'll remember the story from the Bible of the widow's penny. Do you remember that story? Remember the widow's penny? You probably do. So this was a cool Bible story. And this is in the temple. Of course, the churches, there wasn't a Christian church then. It was, Jesus was Jewish, right? So he went to temple, right? So this is the temple, and the rabbi was asking for donations, and the rich man in the village was coming in with all his servants, and they had like, you know, cart after cart and donkey after donkey with like all these golden, you know, cups and chalices and jewels and coins and just all this excessive, like massive amount of wealth just being poured, you know, on the altar. And, you know, of course the rich man was there too, to like with his puff, like, oh, you know, yes, you know, kind of thing, right? And then everybody leaves and everyone's gone. And there's this one very, very poor woman, and she's a widow, and she's poorer than poor. And she sits there, and the spirit moves her. And all she has is a penny. But she goes up, and she puts the penny on the altar. And Jesus saw this. This supposedly was a true story. And he was like in the eaves kind of watching her. She didn't know he was there, but he saw this. And he said that to God, that widow's penny was worth far more than that rich man's treasure that was piled on there, because she gave it from her heart, right? So it meant more. Now, I want you to start giving to yourself from your heart, okay? So just like you might say, well, I'm not this super rich man, I can't, or woman, I can't save very much yet, Sage. I don't care if it's $10 a month, whatever you can do, honey, it's going to expand. It's going to increase. There's something interesting about money, which is that money likes to hang out with more money. Have you ever noticed that? It's like rich people tend to attract situations where they make more money, right? And it is true, it takes money to make money, you know, kind of thing, right? So I think of it as seed money. Think of it as your treasure. and do it with heart as an act of self-love, as an act of love to your future self. Okay, so, you know, wow, we just put a whole lot of different perspectives on both giving and receiving and saving too, all of that. So I want you guys to type in our chat. Some of you guys have already been typing in our chat, yay. I want you to type in the chat what just resonated with everything we just talked about for like half an hour. What just stood out for you of all of that? What stood out for you the most? Go. And I also want you to, if you feel comfortable with it, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can put your percentage that you're going to pay to yourself, just so that we can hold the space for you with that. And again, truly, it can be any number. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% because you have to pay bills, you know, and you also want money for just other things, right? And your giveaway money and your play money and stuff. But pick a number. It's probably between 1 and 50%, right? Most people, it's probably between 1 and 25, you know, and you can share that. Thank you, Jan, for letting me know. I see your note. Putting $1 inside books in the bookstore and random spots in the supermarket. Ivy, you're so cool. I love that. That is so awesome. Thank you. Okay, so right, paying your future self. Exactly. Setting aside $100 for yourself every 2 weeks, every fortnight. Beautiful. Exactly. Nice. Giving the money from your heart to yourself and to others. Beautiful. Thank you, Patricia. Right. Exactly. And so much is about that intention and the energy with which we do things. Paying it forward. And you're paying yourself first $100 every week. Yay. That's great. Good. And periodically ask yourself if that's still the right amount. If 100 is still the right amount, keep it at that. If it's like, you know what, I can do 125, you know, that's not going to kill me, you know, right? Like, I could do 120, I could do 150, whatever, 130. Just ask yourself, you'll know. If it still needs to be 100, then it stays at 100. But if you're like, oh, I can do a little more, you know, it's cool. 25 of every 400 received. Very nice. Good job, Jason. That sounds great. Great. Perfect. That's easy math, you know? Fantastic. Good. Yay. All right, good. And so what I like to do is we're going to jump right into prayer, healing, channeling, wherever we need to go with that. I'm sure we're going to hear from Archangel Michael. Who's excited that it's November? Does anyone else get excited? Like, yay! So what are you excited about November? You can type with us in our chat. I am going to type too. Welcome November. That is what I'm grateful for and looking forward to about November. And Ivy says holidays, family gatherings. Yeah, so nice. And I said cozy fires. We have a fireplace, like an actual wood. You put wood in it type fireplace, which I grew up without that. And I'm really connected with the elements. Like, I just love water. I love fire. I love the earth. I also love the air. I feel like I have to have a fireplace. You know? It's just like, I can't live in a house without a fireplace. Maybe it's my inner dragon. That's probably what it is. So I love making fires in the fireplace, good times with family, playing games to the leaves. Gayle has a thing for November. I'm with you on that. That's great. And Joy says fall trees, the warm drinks, loving friends and family, getting ready for Christmas. My mom already showed me, she's already ordered us 10 Hanukkah presents. She has a whole section of her second bedroom. She's like, oh, that's the Hanukkah section. Because, you know, she's home and she watches TV and she's watching the Home Shopping Network and QVCs. Oh, the kids need one of those. Oh, Tay would love one of those. You know, so she's already going crazy on the holiday shopping. Making offers for gifts clients can give to healers who need healing. Nice. Beautiful. Well, I mean, the warmer climate, like Hawaii. I had a Hawaii dream the other day. Spring is your favorite. Hawaii is spring. Yeah, Hawaii is basically 75 to 90 degrees every day. I personally did not get tired of it. But I do love the change of season too. You know, there's something nice about the leaves and the variety, you know. So I think I can love just living in the tropics, and I can also love having a change of season. So we make the best of what we have and we can appreciate it. So thank you for sharing, you guys. Yay. And I'm so happy to be here with you, kicking off our month together. So let's put on our prayerful hats and go into our grateful hearts. And take some deep breaths of love. And we come together at this beautiful time of the year and a beautiful time of our lives. Because this moment, we are older and wiser than any of the other versions of ourselves. And it's also the youngest that we're ever going to be between now and the rest of our lives. So we're both old and young. It just depends on how we look at it. As Einstein would say, right? It's all about perspective. So love yourself for who you are right now and for how you are right now. And send love to your past self. Send love to yourself all the way from the moment of your conception to your birth, to your early childhood, to your teenagehood, to your young adulthood, and all the way up through the decades and years to today. And make an inner commitment that today is a rebirth day for you. No matter when your birthday is, it's a rebirth day for you. And those of us who are experiencing this live, it's also All Saints Day. It's Day of the Dead. And it's part of Samhain, the Halloween holiday. It's many holidays have like the night before and then the next day. So you can think of this as Samhain Day, if you like. And this is a day when we honor our loving spirit guides and our ancestors, the beloved dead, those who have crossed over. There's an African saying that if you are standing tall, it is because you are riding on the shoulders of your ancestors. So take a moment to thank all of your ancestors, including your mother and father and their parents, and then onward, all the way back to that kind of murky past where there's lots of people that you haven't personally met. You might not have even heard their names. And you don't know very much about their stories. You don't know about their journeys. But their stories, their journeys, their learnings, their gifts, their intelligence, their kindness, their creativity, their wisdom flows forward. And it's like you are the result of the love of thousands. That's a Native American saying. that I love. Think of that. You are the result of the love of thousands. And that's really pretty amazing of a thought when you think about literally all those orgasmic moments. Many of these couples who have mated and all of that contributed down toward you, many of them were in love with each other. So it was not only a physical act, but an act of love and heartfulness. And think about that. There's like thousands of that had to happen for you to be here. That's pretty amazing. It's really kind of an ecstatic thought. So take a moment to thank your ancestors. And some of them are watching over you right now. You could tell, you could feel them. Some of them you might know who they are. Perhaps they're a grandparent or a great-grandparent or a parent. Send them some love. Thank them for watching over you. If there's any forgiveness that needs to take place, you can take care of that right now. Allow yourself to receive the love from your ancestors. They want you to succeed. They want you to fulfill your highest potential. They want your life to be so much easier than their lives were, right? They had a lot more struggles. Your life already is a lot easier than their lives. And they're happy to sometimes see like little qualities of themselves living on through you. And maybe you have your grandmother's smile or your grandfather's eyes, or maybe you have your great-great-grandfather's ability with art and your great-great-great-grandmother's amazing memory with numbers. And you'll just enjoy this moment. And some of these gifts that you have, you didn't even know where they came from. So you're opening your heart now to a greater awareness that a lot of who you are is the result of your DNA, your genes, and the ancestral memories. And you get to be the generation, all of us, we get to be the generation that ends the pain, that breaks free from the fears, and that creates a more positive world. It creates peace on earth, starting within us in our own hearts and minds. We are the ones that have this power. And there's enough of us awakened and awakening and helping one another to awaken, walking each other home, as Ram Dass says. There's enough of us that we are like the 100th monkey, and this effect that we've reached that kind of activation level, that activation point. So think of this as a global awakening. See all the lines of light and all the points of light. And physics tells us that light is both a particle and a wave. And that's true for spiritual light as well. And all these particles are all these awakening souls, including you. And also the subparticles of our chakras and our cells and all these other little sparks of light, our creative ideas. And the waves are like these lines, these rays of light and love that connect us through the heart to one another. So send some extra love on these love rays and waves to some of your nearest and dearest loved ones. And send rays of love to everyone here in our sacred circle and community. And send rays and waves of love wherever you need to. Wherever you're guided to. Notice that you are filled and overflowing. And notice too, that there are rays and waves of love flowing back toward you. To let yourself receive everything that is for your highest good to receive. And we're going to complete this healing process right now by imagining that you're looking at your own eyes. Imagine that you're looking in a mirror. And send these beautiful rays of love and waves of light to yourself, from yourself, for yourself. And not only your current self in this moment, but this is with your past self, your future self, across all time and space, creating a full circle or even an infinity of love and light that just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. In all directions, in all dimensions. Letting yourself be absolutely filled, letting every cell in your body smile and dance and celebrate this amazing miracle we call life and this amazing miracle we call you. With so much love. Namaste and blessings. Wow, so give yourself a few moments to soak all this up, this beautiful love. If you need to do a little bit of journaling, give yourself a few minutes to do that. If you want to type something, you can do that. Or if you just want to sit and breathe and be. Mark is sending love to everybody too. Oh. Okay, I'm giving you a hug. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. So how are you guys feeling after that? How was that? And what do we call that one? Oops. Well, good timing. I'm thinking something like waves and rays of love. Does that sound good? Does that work for you guys? And we're going to be doing HeartSeats shortly. And if you need to take a stretch break or a restroom break, now would be a good time to do that. And HeartSeats, we're going to have today, we have Russell, Patricia, and Jason for HeartSeats. And Lenka, if she can arrive, she's having a traffic issue, but she'll pop on when she can, and then she might be able to get a HeartSeat as well, and maybe Angela too. So we'll see how we do. But for sure, Russell is here, Patricia's here, Jason's here. So you guys are going to have HeartSeats. That's great. So how are you guys doing? What stood out for you guys with that? I think for me, that was pretty amazing of a thought that like literally thousands of like love gasms resulted in me. Like that's just quite an expanding of consciousness, right? And that's true for all of us, you know? That's like amazing. Like literally like thousands of times that had to happen, you know? That's amazing. And with our intention, we are healing all the stuff that our ancestors had that was not pleasurable and that was, you know, painful or fear or etc. You know, so we are the ones that are like creating the clean slate. And I really like that too. I really like that concept that this is our opportunity, and we have enough awakening right now on this planet. That stood out for me too. There's enough of us, and it's like continuing to spark, you know, the awakening is continuing to grow and grow. Awesome. Yeah. Feel free to share in the chat what resonated for you and what you're processing, and if you had any questions or how you can apply that. And I feel like that was a really beautiful way of honoring the ancestors today. Cool. All right. And we're actually going to move right into HeartSeats, and then we'll probably hear from Archangel Michael directly, maybe later. Either he'll come through in a HeartSeat, because sometimes he does that, or after one or more of the HeartSeats. All right, so that's where the energy is right now, and that's where we go. Woo! So thanks, guys. Russell says he'll be back in a few minutes, so we're going to go to Patricia. So let me find you on here, Patricia. There you are. Let's see. Okay, are you unmuted?
I am.
Yay! Oh, look at your infinity necklace. That's so cool. Wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. This is so great. Fabulous. And what can we support you with today with your HeartSeat? What would you like to shift? Or we could do a chakra checkup. That's also an option as well.
Yeah, maybe a chakra checkup. Just a brief kind of check-in.
Yeah.
Is I feel like I've been changing a lot in the last couple months, a lot. And what I have been focusing on recently is really existing in myself fully as much as I can and as often. And where I have, for a long time, I have felt that I have something very, very big to offer. And I have felt a lot of blocks in my job and kind of career. But I've also felt that those have been very purposeful. And so recently, I've really been feeling that I'm exactly in the right place, expanding in that place, and I'm keeping an eye out for where it is that I can make a bigger contribution. And then just intuitively and feeling wise, I'm feeling about, somehow it's like what I have something to offer in wellness and how we work with greater love, even if we're not using the L word.
Yeah.
How we work with greater love, and how our processes, the way we do things, how they can support how they can support better feelings about ourselves, better feelings about each other, and the people that we're helping. So that the structure that we work in, with the way we do things and the way we're like literally sitting also, how those things can contribute to something bigger. And break some barriers down. And anyway, so that's what I'm thinking a lot about and feeling a lot about. So
beautiful. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And may I ask, just out of curiosity, what kind of work you're doing currently?
My job title is called finance specialist. And I work at a nonprofit. The funding I work with is helping migrant families with their early child education and child care. Essentially what I do, my job is two things. I'm a bridge between finance and the program staff providing services. And then the other thing I do is I process a whole bunch of paperwork. And that is boring.
Right.
but I am finding actually there's kind of like a love in keeping everything tracked. So yeah, so and that's been a recent, like just in the last 4 weeks, that's been a real focus of how can I be better at the part of the job that I'm not as fond of, and so that I can really be more effective. But I feel like I want to run things, and I'm way far from that point in the hierarchy. Yeah.
Right. Totally hear ya. Yeah. And it's interesting when we're at that stage, Patricia, where we know that the work that we're doing, we're good at, and we can bring intention and awareness and improvement and even heart and maybe a little bit of creativity to it. But we also know there's so much more to us than what this job allows. You know, it's kind of like it's in a box, you know, and you're like, okay, well, I can move differently inside this box, you know, but I'm still like inside this box, you know, and I'm a lot bigger than this box. So you're at the stage where it feels uncomfortable, but you can still find, especially because it's a nonprofit that you do believe in, you know, like it's actually helping people. It's not just like making a different widget or something, you know, it's something that you actually can care about families. But part of the challenge is that you're not really working directly with the families. Like you're not like a social worker or a counselor or, you know, a therapist or, you know, whatever, someone who's like actually meeting them directly a lot and seeing the transformation in their lives. But it's more that you're being this bridge person of helping the money get where it's needed so that the life changes can happen, so that the support can happen. And then you're helping to track and organize. And hopefully you have a very strong left brain that likes that type of structure, you know, and checking things off the list, like, okay, this is here and this needs to be here, and, you know, that kind of stuff. Would you like me to jump into a kind of intuitive reading for you about purpose? Because that's kind of where it feels like we need to go at the moment. And
that
if
would
we
be great.
time, we can look at the chakras too, if there's anything.
That would be great. Yeah.
You have so much more leadership and heart than what this job will allow you to funnel into it. Even if you optimize the fuck out of it, even if you're like, I am doing this the very best like anyone can possibly do this job, and I'm doing it with kindness, and I'm doing it with intelligence, and I'm doing it with just, you know, structure, and I'm doing it in a grounded way. Like, even if you just totally did the absolute best you could, it's still not enough for you. It's still not going to be enough for you. So can you hang in there another 6 months or a year or two? You know, sure. You know, you can hang in there. It's not like that torturous, you know, it's just not where you're meant to be ultimately, you know, and it's definitely serving a purpose in this stage of your life. And when you're gone from that job, you'll look back on it fondly and you'll be like, oh, you know, okay, I did some really good stuff there, you know, and you maybe have some nice connections that you might stay in touch with potentially too. And you are here to be more of a speaker, a teacher, a coach, you know, really an educator. And kind of like an illuminator. That's the term that's coming. You might want to write that down, an illuminator. Because it's like illumination it includes, it touches upon knowledge, like as in brilliance, you know, like knowledge, like skills, actually teaching, actually educating people. And then it's also that sense of being uplifted, you know, and that like joy, right? So you're here to be an illuminator, right? So that's cool. That's a nice job. So how exactly do you do that? What does that exactly look like? So you already have an inkling and twinkling that you're passionate about wellness. And you are seeing such a difference in your life about having more awareness of even things like how a person sits, how they move, their posture, their ergonomics, their environment, you know, and you can specialize in that sort of thing, or you can also be a little bit more general if you wanted to add other things like, I keep getting movement is part of it, like conscious movement, intentional movement, you know, and it feels like you're going to develop a system for this. Like you're developing it for yourself first, because we always do that, right? Yeah. And then as you're like realizing this, and you're getting more structure, you're gonna like you. So at that point, you could do things like online business with online classes and also workshops, because it really feels like you'd be a great retreat facilitator and a great workshop facilitator. So you can have people come for like a 3-hour workshop, and in 3 hours, boom, they've embodied some tools, they've moved differently, they've started to integrate it. And even if they only do like that 3-hour signature workshop, that's going to make a difference. You can also bring it into workplaces. And it does feel like you would be able to speak the language for corporations. You can explain things in the language where they would be like, oh yeah, we need to allocate some of our annual budget for that, because they have budgets for these things. They need to bring in, you know, experts. Like I taught meditation at Kaiser Permanente, like in a 1-day workshop. I also did like a ongoing 13 class series, and that happened to be about meditation, but we phrased it also as stress reduction, and they knew that helps their workers be more productive, it helps them be more healthy and have less time out from work, and it helps them have longer job satisfaction and retention, you know, all that stuff, right? So yeah. It makes sense, you know, and there's a lot of corporations that understand that have enough of a holistic concept, and they want their employees to be happy. And so it's not so much about like, there's a lot of people coaching and teaching about like communication and leadership, but for you it's more about how they actually hold themselves and how they move, and you know, like physical, you know, but also the mental stuff too, like the self-talk, you know. So you're going to bring like listening to your body kind of stuff, you know, And for some reason, I'm getting Feldenkrais. I don't. Okay, so is that something you've worked with? Or?
Yeah, I have done that 4-year program.
See, I didn't even know that about you. I'm just getting that. That's just like climbing off of you.
Yeah, and it's
ding, ding.
and it So that's what I'm hearing, and what you're saying too is integrating that, and that's
in there.
A process of listening and expanding options. Yeah.
It's so fun being so psychic and intuitive.
Look at that, right?
You're like, no idea that shit, no knowledge, no conversation prior to this whatsoever. Yeah, it's just like, oh, Feldenkrais needs to be part of that. Boom. So that's kind of just validating for you, like really putting a spotlight that like you have this knowledge, you have this passion. Do you already have a certification in Feldenkrais?
I do. It's I would need to do continuing education to recertify.
Right.
But yeah, I've completed. Yeah, and that was 17 years ago. I completed that training program.
Okay.
So it's been part of my life. Yeah.
And you're still practicing it yourself, and you're still passionate about it, right?
I don't like physically do the movement so much. It's more like it's a part of the way that I think and approach life.
Yeah, that's okay. You've integrated it, and you also probably have some things that you've built upon it that are beyond that, and that's what brings, your unique perspective, and so that's so great. This whole thing about being like fully present, fully occupying your space, fully aware, I mean, it really relates to the holistic concepts about, being here now, right? And then it's also this body consciousness and like body talk, body wisdom. Yeah, so all of that, I can totally see you having a multiple income streams where you do one-on-one consulting, you do workshops, you do corporate, like workshops, corporate trainings. They call them sometimes retreats, but it's not necessarily even a retreat, but they call them retreats, even if you're in a conference room. That's funny how they are like, oh, it's their annual retreat. What, you're in a hotel conference room? Okay, that's fine. But, you can make it as retreat-like as possible. And then you can also create, like I'm seeing you with videos, like an online, course or series of courses where you can have like an online school where people can do level 1 and they could do level 2, or they can do like this other thing that's more in depth about this particular part, So girl, you're just going to be like on this complete expansive pathway. It's actually very exciting. So what I would recommend, your next step is to do your continuing education units, get recertified, and of course, you have everything here in Wisdom School, which is so important for your intuitive development. If at some point you want some business coaching, just reach out to me and we can take a look at that. And do a lot of journaling with your guides and your highest self and your angels on this. I really feel a lot of Archangel Raphael for you on this. Really, really wants to help people, because awareness and health, it's all about energy, right? I mean, people are more aware and they're more healthy. They're also going to feel more mentally clear. They're going to be more inspired. They're going to be more creative. They're going to feel happier. They're going to have better communication. They're going to listen to one another better. They're going to express themselves better. I mean, it just ripples out into every aspect, of their lives. So you go, girl. Boom. I love it. And there's going to be like a phrase for you that's kind of like your umbrella phrase. And the umbrella phrase doesn't have to have Feldenkrais in it. That's just a method that you're bringing in, but you're going to integrate more than one method, but that is an important part of it. So see what your magic phrase is. Just put that forth to the universe, like, oh, okay, what's going to be, so because that name, it'll be like for your method, Yeah. Cool. And that's going to come to you. I feel like it's probably going to come to you directly. It might come like in the next few days or weeks. If you need any further help with it, just let me know. and it might come
Yeah,
through me or
thank you.
somebody else here. But I feel like give yourself a chance first to trust your own intuition.
Yeah,
And
no,
just be
I
like,
think, yeah,
okay, what is that? What is that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yay!
yeah,
Well,
thank you.
good. Yeah, and I feel like this was great for a heart seat today. How do you feel? Was that
Yeah,
validating and empowering and
yeah.
illuminating? Illuminating.
It is. Yes, it is illuminating. And thanks for the steps. I do feel like things are still really growing. So I appreciate the steps. I will focus, that will give me something to focus on while I'm growing.
Right, exactly. And you don't have to leave the current job like urgently. It feels like you're going to have this kind of foot in both worlds for a while, for a little while until you're like, oh, okay, I'm ready to leave that job. Or you might even do what I recommend to a lot of my business coaching clients who are in this transition, stage, is how many days a week are you working there right now? Is it 5 or?
Yeah, it's 5 full-time, 40
Right.
hours.
So at some point, as you're getting your business launched, once you have some money coming in from that, you can look at trying to go part-time to the job.
Right.
Like see if you do a job share, or
Yeah.
you're like 2.5 days a week or 2 or 3 days a week,
Right.
and that way if someone else is part-time and you're part-time, yes, you might lose benefits if you're part-time, but it depends how many hours you have on the part-time. You might be able to still do the minimal amount to keep the benefits, which would be nice. But there's ways to kind of like transition and optimize your transition. And on the other hand, you might just feel done at a certain point and you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm just out of here. But
Well,
it's doable to build your business while you still have the full-time job.
Got it. One of the things that has come up that I just yesterday asked for again is we have a wellness committee at work. The agency I work for is about 1,200 people large all across California. And so there's been some resistance for me from people in the finance group about me participating in it, but I keep feeling called to that as like a way to start bringing those conversations more into a work environment. So that's the other kind of transition piece.
Yeah, that's great. Keep us posted. Let us know how all that unfolds. And we're totally here for you. And just, let me know if you need any other support. And usually people can get a heart seat like maybe every 2-3 months, because not everyone shows up and not everyone wants a heart seat. So if next time, if you want the chakra check, just let us know.
Thank you, Sage. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Let's all give Patricia a big hand.
Thank you.
That was so great. So spot on. Love it. That's fabulous. All right. So let's see if Russell or Jason are available. Russell, I think you have a time limitation, so I'm going to pop over to you. I hope you don't mind, Jason. Russell, I want to make sure you get your heart seat because I know you have to leave for an appointment sort of soon. So let's take care of you. You are in the heart seat. Woo!
Okie doke.
Yay! Great to
you.
see you. Great to see you as always.
See you.
Wonderful. And how can we support you today, dear?
I read something the other day that people who are workaholics or who have difficulty playing or establishing a downtime that they really enjoy may still be dealing with some undealt with trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to think, well, I know that I'm certainly more committed to work than I ought to be. But also finding the right way to have fun. It's almost like something I don't even believe is possible at some level.
Fun doesn't seem possible, or having time when you're not working.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do have a few things that I enjoy, that I do, but I don't, you've told me many times about playing and giving me all kinds of brainstorming ideas, but I thought I would raise this issue of some past trauma that I'm not clear about. See if there's anything we could do with that.
Right. Okay, great. That's a great question. And it's an important issue because if there's something energetically, spiritually, subconsciously preventing you or impeding you from letting yourself just have fun, we want to take care of that. So thank you for the opportunity to support you with that. Can I say a special prayer for you, Russ?
Of course.
Awesome. I'd like to ask everyone's assistance to hold the space for Russell. And or if you feel like this issue is your issue too, you can be kind of energetically experiencing the healing too. And you can even do both. You can be holding space for Russell and experiencing it yourself, both giving and receiving. There are no limitations. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, loving angels, archangels, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, King of all the angels, Divine Mother, loving ancestors, ascended masters, Reiki masters, and of all of our most loving, wise, and helpful guides. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm here with my beautiful brother on the path, Russell Berg, and our fellow students, co-journeyers, and friends here in Wisdom School. And we ask for the greatest healing, the deepest healing, the most immediate healing, and the healing that lasts. The healing that is transformative and transformational, and that ripples and flows outward like water, blessing everyone whose lives we touch. And the healing that we seek right now is for the healing that is perfect for each one of us. And specifically for Russell, we invoke God's holiest help with all of our loving allies and guides, and especially the angels, to help Russell feel the playfulness and allow himself to just have fun, allow himself to be fully present with the fun that he does allow himself to have, so that when it's fun time and playtime, he brings 100% of himself to this. He jumps fully into it. It's like a little kid jumping into a puddle. Like, boom, here I am. And the water is just splashing up. I'm in the puddle now. And letting that energy of just, you know what, this moment is all there is. This moment is perfect. In this moment, I'm totally alive. I'm totally gleefully in this moment, in this experience, in this now. This is it. This is what I'm doing. This is just fun. And we also call into this healing Russell's intuitive inner director. And we all have intuition, and we're allocating to our intuition right now. And Russell, you get to do this for yourself. And if you've done it before, you get to do it again, even more intense, right? You're allocating that your intuition is your director. The intuition is your director of operations, your director of how you spend your time. Because your time is one of your most important resources. Some would say even it's your most important resource. So each day and each hour and literally each minute and each second there's an optimal choice for you. And then there's a whole lot, like millions of non-optimal choices, right? And each choice that we make is helping to create what universe we're in, and it's helping to create our experience of our universe. So now our intuition is the director. So this way, when your mind says X and your body says Y, and your emotional self says Z, it's resolved perfectly because your intuition steps in and provides the answer. And maybe the answer is in that moment X or Y or Z, or maybe it's X, Y, or maybe it's Y, Z, or maybe it's P, right? Something else that you hadn't even thought of in that moment, but there it is. Perfect. P for perfect. So your intuition helps you from this moment on to direct those choices, and it does it in an intuitive way. It does it in a spontaneous way, in an authentic way, in a natural way, and in an easy way. And sometimes you're aware of it, like, aha, that must have been my intuition talking. And other times you're not even aware of it, but you still make the course correction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You still course correct. Like, okay, this is just what I feel like doing. I just feel like doing this. So you go with the flow. And so your intuition helps you feel the flow in the right way. And that's awesome. So now we're going to ask Archangels Raphael and Metatron if there's anything else specific that we need to unearth and release or heal or transmute in any way, so that this new positive installation and way of being can be complete. Is there anything else, loving angels, that Russell needs to shift? And Russell, are you getting an intuitive sense on that? I want to ask you what you're getting first.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
What I'm getting is that my preoccupations with Donald Trump are extended versions of issues with my father, in which I found from time to time, or actually a lot, that I couldn't trust him. And so I keep, in a sense, looking for new examples of Trump's untrustworthiness to sort of confirm my sense of Dad's untrustworthiness. Mm-hmm. So part of the healing there is to push Trump out of the picture, because I think I've not been willing actually to say, although there are many times I've complained about Dad's not being trustworthy, I've never really said it that way. And I actually feel a lot of fright right mm-hmm. now as I say that. The idea of Dad not being trustworthy, I mean, it's so much easier for me to be angry and enraged than to be frightened. Mm-hmm. And then the next message I'm getting is good for you. And you'll notice soon, if not immediately, that you yourself are the trustworthy being that you need. Mm-hmm. And that you now, as an elderly man, know what to do to create a trustworthy world for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. That's from Raphael. I'm not sure of anything from Metatron.
That's okay.
Well, I'm getting something weird from Metatron. From Metatron, I'm getting something like, Russ, you need to cube yourself. I think of Metatron as an angel of spiritual geometry.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so the message I'm getting from Metatron was, you got to cube yourself, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
And, so then I got, okay, Metatron, what does that mean? And Metatron says, well, you know, Russ, you're the master of all kinds of meanings. And so you know that I'm talking about many different meanings. So I'm talking about being in your cubicle, a cube as a safe space, a cube as a regular sided entity. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's it on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask him, is that it, Metatron? And he says, no, not quite. Now, although you think of me as the sacred geometer, I'm also sending you a feather. And this is like a feather you've received before, which is for dipping. It's like a quill feather for dipping. Actually, this feather is small. It's not like a quill feather. It's more like one of those feathers that people say is a sign of an angel. And he's saying he's sending me the feather because he is concerned that I would consider the cube hard and hard-edged. And so he wanted the feather as a way of softening it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the message is, that's good. I've never channeled Metatron before.
Yeah, and now you have.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's pretty astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see myself doing more channeling of him.
Beautiful. Did you pick up the feather yet?
No, well, the feather was put into my hand.
Oh, good. Okay, great. So we're going to give this another minute or so and let you and your sacred work with Metatron, with the cube and the feather, complete beautifully. Good. I know I have a question for you, Russell, and you're doing great.
Okay.
Do you feel like...
Yes, I agree. I'm doing great.
Yes, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you agree. Perfect. Do you feel like your healing and your heart seat are complete, or do you feel like there's something more to do with your father's highest self? And your highest self, of course.
Well, my highest self wants to talk to my father's highest self.
Good.
And
so
say,
let's do it.
Yeah. And my highest self wants to say, Dad, you know how everybody always says that your parents meant well, and they didn't mean to hurt you, and so on. And I'm not sure that that's true of you, but actually at the same time, I don't really care, because I love you and I appreciate you and all you were and still are to me. And so I'm saying thank you for what you did, in a sense, to help set my own cube and give me my own feather so that I can be free to get out and do my part in the world. And at the same time, I thank you for all kinds of ways in which you reached out to me that I rejected when I was so angry with you. And I ask your forgiveness, and I forgive you of whatever has angered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgive myself for holding on to these remnants of pain as if they were jewels, as if they were pearls.
So where do those remnants of pain need to actually go? Where do you need to send them?
Well, Raphael is my garbage collector.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Important job.
And so, Raphael, I'm going to give these remnants of pain to you. Oh, wow. Oh, boy, is that exciting. That is so thrilling.
Woohoo!
That's about as thrilling a moment as I've experienced in any channeling.
Wow.
And it's like gladly, Russ. And it's almost like I've been waiting for you to turn these over to me. And thanks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, and thanks for not making me ask.
It had to come from you. Your choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I'm feeling complete.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. That was absolutely marvelous. So, this is very exciting.
Woo! Big hand for Russell. Yay! Yay! Wow. Look at that big smile. I love it. That's amazing.
And thank you all for your support.
Oh my goodness. That was just phenomenal. And now you are going to do with your intuitive director, you're going to do whatever you need to do to create that trustworthy world for yourself. And there you go. You're the one that does it because you love yourself, you respect yourself, and it's easy for you to do because it's easy for your intuition to do it.
Yes.
So there you go. And that includes knowing when to play and how to play, knowing when to work and how to work, and everything else.
Good.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
Hi, Ted. Woohoo! Hip, hip, whee! All right. Very good. Congratulations, Russell. And I'll look forward to hearing as you see how this shows up and as you process it. This was huge. I really feel like this was huge for you. I'm so glad that you came to the Guidathon today.
Oh, me too. Fantastic. I'll be here for another 15 minutes or so.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks, honey. And we're going to pop over congratulations and thank you again, Archangels, Raphael, and Metatron, and all who assisted, and blessings to Russell's dad's spirit as well. Blessings to all beings. And blessings to Russell. Woo! Yes. Great, great, great. All right, I'm going to pop over to Jason. That was such a joy getting to do that for Russell. Wow, I'm still like,
super beautiful.
It's amazing. Yeah. Actually, can I take just a 5-minute restroom break? Would that be okay?
Yes, it would.
Okay, so everyone who needs a little 5 minutes, water out, water in, whatever you need to do, a little stretch. I love that little blue jacket. That's cool. That looks perfect, Jason. And we'll see you guys back in 5. Okay, just come back in 5 minutes. You can sit here if you want to keep your butt in your seat and just do some processing, some journaling, some chatting with us, whatever you like to do, or you can take 5 minutes, listen to your body. What does your body tell you right now? See you in 5. Okay, I'll be right back. Yay! I can unmute you, Jason. Let's see here. There you go. You're unmuted.
I am unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yahoo! I love how Michael is like right behind you. You're like turning into Michael. Woohoo! Hey, there could be more than one of us that merged with them, right? I don't think I'm the only one. So wonderful to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Tell me what's been happening for you. Whoops, you got muted again.
There we go.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
I was trying to respond and I was like, huh? Start, stop. I was muted.
There you go.
I am good, thank you. I have a specific question and topic.
Perfect.
For today. I felt like the term that you used with me once was elation-ship, but I feel like the potential of a relationship is ready. And so I was looking for a confirmation on this, and then I feel called to ask for an intuitive reading around it.
Perfect. And is there a specific woman in mind, or it's more about the question of your readiness and timing and clarity and manifestation and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like starting with the confirmation, the reading is the right step to go as far as like an alignment of steps.
Mm-hmm.
The whom is a question, and so yeah, it just feels like maybe starting with those steps first.
Perfect. Okay, good. Let's tune in and see where we glow together. Okay, I'm going to do this in a very specific, structured way. So if you'll give me about 2 minutes, I'm going to write some stuff down and I'll respond in just a moment. Okay, so what I did for this particular Am I Ready to Manifest My Divine Right Mate reading, I broke it down into the 4 steps to manifest higher love, which I channeled in 1994, right after I had my huge spiritual awakening. And it was actually the first question I asked God when I realized that I can ask God anything and actually get an answer. And the first question I asked was, how do I manifest my soulmate? And then I was taught that that wasn't really the optimal question. But, you start with the question, right?
Right.
And the answer I got was that there are 4 steps to manifesting your divine right mate, which is actually not only your soulmate, but also your body mate, your mind mate, and your heart mate. So they are a match for you on all those levels, because there are people who are soulmates, but if they're not also those other levels of meeting you and connecting with you, then it's not gonna last, or it's not gonna satisfy, especially if they're not a heart mate. The soulmates that aren't a heart mate are really ouchy, painful relationships. So anyway, the 4 steps are: number 1, love yourself deeply, radically, unconditionally, no matter what. So I asked Spirit for a score for you on your self-love. Like, where is Jason's self-love meter, from like a 0 to a 10? And the score we got was, drum roll please, a 9. Good job, Jason. Woo! Yay! Woohoo! Yes, I know, right? Yes, I love myself. Yay. Yes, so that's great. That's a huge positive. Healing, the next step is healing on all levels. So it's turning your wounds into wisdom. So in the context of loving relationships, romantic sexual partnerships, what that often means is that you learned enough from your past relationships and you've set yourself free from the emotional baggage. You've actually looked at the relationships, learned what you needed to, and forgiven yourself, forgiven the other person, made any other energetic adjustments, you know, and you're liberating yourself, and you're also empowering yourself with wisdom with which to move forward. And your score on healing is a 7.5. 7.5. Okay, so there's a little bit more to do. It's not bad though. It's not bad. And I'm sure if we looked at it 6 months ago, it would have been like a 2.5 or 2 or something. You know? Because you were really going through the throes of it back then. So a little bit more to do. And healing, but self-love is doing great. Step 3, once you have enough of the healing, I'd like to see that healing score get up to at least an 8 or a 9. A 10 would be fabulous, but very few people have a 10 on anything. But even an 8 would be a little bit better, and a 9 would be awesome, right? So just a little bit more work to do. We can take a look at it. But the next step is clarity. So the clarity is that you're clear about what you deserve and what you desire in relationship and in the partner. So there's the partner, like the person themselves, like the qualities that you want. These are the must-have qualities. These are the, it would be nice, but it's not essential, sort of fantasy list, right? And these are things that you don't really care about one way or the other. You don't even have to put those on the list because they're just like flexible. And then these are the deal breakers, like no, these are must not have. So you have must-haves, you have must-not-haves, you have some fantasy, would be nice ifs, and then the rest you don't have to worry about. And your clarity score is a 9. You're very clear. Good job, Jason. Woo! He's got another 9. That is so great. Yeah, because you've been really reflecting a lot for the last few months. You have, you know, you've assessed it intellectually, you felt into things intuitively, you've been working with it energetically, and you have been doing some journaling too, right? You've been doing some writing.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so
I need to pick that up a little bit.
Okay, so let's put that on the Homelove, maybe do a bit more writing. Okay,
Got it.
9 is good. 9 is sufficient to move forward with. And then your 4th step is manifestation. And in this case, the score that we're looking at is, do you have enough tools for manifestation? Do you have enough understanding of like how the law of attraction works and how it works about adjusting your energy and receiving and transporting yourself through the future, you know, into the future where you already have it, aligning yourself with it, feeling it, being grateful for it in advance, all of that. And your score on your manifestation is a 10, my friend. You have the tools, you have the skills, you know what to do, and you have enough knowledge on how to do it, which is great. So you probably, did you already get the Angelic Love Activator course? Because if you did, great, and you probably learned from it, and if you didn't, you probably don't need it.
I have your self-love, but not the
Yeah, you've been doing the self-love.
one.
The self-love is a subset of the Angelic Love Activator, and I think that was one of the most important parts for you, which is great. So glad you have that. So the only other piece to just amp up a bit more is the healing.
Okay.
But the other 3, you are sitting very pretty, my friend.
Beautiful, thank you. I've been taking notes, so if I'm looking over here, I'm typing.
Oh, I know, that's your MO. Totally fine. I sometimes write things down, so it's all good. Do you want to be complete with the HeartSeat now, or do you want any more support now or later with regard to figuring out what healing needs to still happen?
Yeah, I might as well ask the intuitive guidance on what healing still needs to happen. That'd be great.
Okay, sure. Okay, we're getting 3 pieces to it. Energetic adjustment. I'll explain them in just a second. I'll just tell you the 3 first.
Okay.
Self-forgiveness is number 2. Okay, hang on. That was number 3. Ah, yes, got it. Number 3 is in loveness with life. Okay, and now keep in mind that none of these is really abysmal or dismal, or your score wouldn't have been a 7.5, it would have been like a 5 or something like that, or lower. But these
Sure.
these are the specific aspects of your healing that are pulling it downward. And there's a lot of other aspects of your healing, like forgiveness of your ex-wife, for example, adjusting to just changes of circumstance, you know, how you run your energy, that you're doing great with. You're doing great with a lot of things. Mother wound, right? Old ancestral stuff, past life stuff. You're doing great with all that. We've done a lot of work on all that. You're doing great with all those. Those are like check, 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 check. You have a lot that are check, 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 right? So these are just the 3 really specific nuances. All right. So that would be, you know, and you can options for how to heal that. You can do those on your own or with tools that you already have, if to whatever degree feels appropriate. We could take a look at supporting you one-on-one to whatever degree feels appropriate. And you can also kind of just sit with it and just kind of see, like, is it self-correcting? Like, are those things gonna just be better by themselves in a month even if you don't do anything? Or do you need to actually, you know, are you gonna help things move along more quickly if you actually are more proactive with it? You know, usually if we're more proactive, it helps things move more quickly.
Yes.
You know.
Intuitively, I feel as though I can work with these pieces through some own tools that are available to me right now. I think it was the identification of the pieces that were left that was the key. So thank you for that.
Perfect. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Wonderful. And keep us posted. And my last sentence for this HeartSeat is, I do weddings. Woo! So keep me in mind, because I would love nothing more than to fly out and officiate at your wedding when your divine right mate, when your next divine right mate, the lasting keeper divine right mate shows up. And if you guys do have a ceremony of some sort, not everyone gets married, not everyone has a ceremony, whatever. And you don't have to hire me as your officiant. It would just mean the world to me is all.
I have your quote that you put on Facebook a while back, and I've saved that quote. I don't even know how many months I've had it, but I look at it very periodically and I read through it. And it's just been a blessed quote, and it's been sort of a nice anchor point for me to come across, to sort of read into, to just sort of, if you can imagine setting a goal, it's like that quote sort of kept me on that path of following towards the goal. So it was a really beautiful quote. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I wish I remembered which quote it was. Do you remember which quote it was?
You know what? I have it. I can put it on.
Pop it on our group.
Wisdom School of Life.
Yeah. Stick it on our Facebook group, because probably someone else will resonate with it. And then I'd like to be reminded of which particular branch of wisdom and love flowed through in that moment. And I'm glad that it touched and touches you. And I'm delighted that we could shed some light for you today. And you are so deserving of just an amazing, amazing relationship with an incredible woman who just totally gets you and is your match, you know, not only intellectually, but spiritually and emotionally and physically as well. And, you know, you're not going to be identical on the Venn diagram, but you're going to have enough overlap of interests and passions and visions for how you see the world and values, that it's just an amazing life that you get to co-create. And the thing we all need to learn is that we don't actually need a partner to have an amazing life. It's just that when we have an amazing life already, and then we add the perfect partner, the one who's right for us, they're not a perfect human being, but they're right for us. We add them into the mix. It's the icing on the cake, you know?
Yeah.
It's a great cake.
To...
It's a great cake, but now it's even better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really been the beauty, is that the goal for me is, how could I find someone who has already been secured in their own love, understands the source within them as the only source they need, but then how do you get creative and co-create and collaborate together, and start to play together from that place of completeness within? And how can you embody a new level of joy because of it, and then take that out and experience life as a result? So
exactly,
yeah, I'm excited.
Wasn't that just like pure poetry that just came out of my man Jason's mouth here? Look, did you hear what you just said? Listen, you're gonna listen to the replay. Hi, replay, Jason. Hi, replay, everybody.
I love it.
To our replay listening selves, right? But you totally get that. You get that it is two whole human beings who are not looking to complete themselves to someone else. They're not looking to rescue or be rescued. They don't actually need a partner. They desire a partner from a healthy desire, because it's natural and it's normal and it's healthy to want to have that, it, you know, as a social creature, as a sexual creature too, you know, and it's okay, but being really selective about it so that we don't settle for less than we really desire and deserve. We don't settle for less just to settle down, as I said in the self-love book. You know, you're just
beautiful.
Like, you know, because it's not worth being with the not right partner is drama. It's drama, and it's trauma, and it's painful, and it's yucky, and it's energetically depleting, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's a pain in the heart, and it's not better than being by ourselves. It's not. But being with the right partner it enhances. We still get to keep all the joy of our independence. We still get to follow our path. And they just cheer us on, you know. They see our successes as something that makes them happy too. They want our success. They're not intimidated by it. They're not afraid or insecure if we need time to do our own thing, if we need to go away over here, if we're focusing on our project of this or that. You know, they're like, hey, whatever makes you happy, beloved, you know, whatever lights you up, you're gonna bring more of that light and more joy into the partnership. So it's a blessing. What she does that lights her up is a blessing for the us. What you do that lights you up is a blessing for the us. And that's what a person who's capable of sacred partnership understands, and they're able to do that. And they're emotionally available too. And you can talk about spiritual stuff with her. You can do spiritual stuff with her. It doesn't have to be like this separate weird thing that you do over here, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, you know, and I have so many clients who are in relationships where they're like, well, it's okay. My spouse understands that that's just me doing my spiritual stuff. And it's like, honey, you deserve to have a spouse or a partner, you know, who does spiritual stuff too. You know, they do some spiritual stuff on their own. And that's fine. And there's some places where you can come together and you can do things together, whatever form that takes, whether that's prayer or visualization or meditation or ceremony or going to a community, you know, whatever it is, you know, there's a place where there's overlap, or even if it's just nature hikes and just being, you know, in the beauty and majesty of God's creation. I mean, that's a spiritual experience for a lot of people too. Or maybe it's music or, you know, whatever it is. Maybe it's cooking and gardening. I mean, you know, anything can be spiritual when we experience life that way, right? It's how we experience it. So you're amazing spiritual woman who totally gets you. She exists. And she's been working on herself, bro. She's been doing her healing to prepare. So
I love it.
Yeah. So she'll bring a complete, healthy, loves life, loves herself, and is ready, willing, and able to co-create lasting love with you. Self.
Beautiful.
To partnership.
I love it.
Boom. High
Boom.
five. High 10. Woo! And let's give Jason a hug, everybody. Let's give Jason a hug. Yay!
Give you guys a hug.
Mwah. Grateful. So glad to be here.
Thank you.
With you today. Wonderful.
Appreciate
Wonderful.
it.
Thank you, sweetheart. And happy
thank you,
November. Yeah.
Yeah, say hi to Mark for me.
Oh, I will. Thank you. Thank you. See, and now you have totally merged with Archangel Michael. Right? You guys see that? Jason has Archangel Michael wings. Love it. Love it. All right. Thank you, my friend. Wonderful. I'm so glad we could do that.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you, Sage.
Absolutely. Always a joy. My pleasure. So I think that we had, let's see, Jan, who else is waiting here? Let me see if there's anybody else. We could probably do like maybe one more if there's someone waiting for HeartSeat who is here. I know Lenka was having issues getting here, so she probably can't do that.
The other two people were Angela and
Angela and Lenka. So maybe we're complete. Are we complete? Is there anyone else who wants or needs a HeartSeat?
Don't have anybody else that's here, okay. Unless it's somebody in our group. Yeah, Lenka, Angela and Lenka. So.
Okay. And is there anyone else here right now live who has not had a HeartSeat recently or just has a quick question? Like just a quickie thing. If so, type, raise your hand, unmute yourself, and we can support you. And otherwise, if everybody feels complete and like, hey, we had a full Guidathon, and that's
how about
wonderful.
Gayle?
Gayle hasn't had a HeartSeat for a while. That is true. Gayle, would you like some HeartSeatness? Would you like to receive, sweetie? I can't hear you, but I put you in the middle. And say something. No, I still can't hear you. Darn it. Unmute. Not hearing you. Maybe try something different on your, put headphones on, or maybe it's something on your end there, or we can do HeartSeat without me hearing you. You could type.
I unmuted her on her face. This is Jan.
Yeah, I have her showing as unmuted. It shows that she's unmuted, but we still can't hear her. So we'll give you another minute or so to see if you can make yourself hearable. Angels, please support with technology and help Gayle with her 5th chakra expression. Thank you. And the message I'm getting, sweetie, is for you to hang up and come back on. That's the message I'm getting. If you just maybe go off and then come back in, either the same method or with a different method.
Okay.
Oh, now I can hear you. Oh, good, that worked. Okay, whatever you did with that worked. Okay, good. Excellent.
I turned the headphones on.
Yeah, well, but without using the headphones, I guess you had the headphones like activated, but you didn't have them on your head. So anyway, you got it to work. So thank you, angels. And how can we support our beautiful Earth Angel, Gayle?
Would you mind doing a chakra scan?
No.
And anything else that I need to know would be good.
Great.
I don't really have anything other than that I'm aware of anyway. Thank you.
That sounds perfect. Okay, so I will be quiet and writing for a while. And you can just kind of relax and meditate. If you have any inspired thoughts or anything you want to write down, feel free to do that. And otherwise, we're just going to be in quiet together for a little while. All right, ready?
Mhm.
Lots of data. And guess who wants to say hello? Who wants to say hello?
Oh,
The
hello.
puppy wants to say hello for you. It's Loki.
Hello, Loki. Beautiful puppy. Lovely markings.
Aw, he's got a white chest. He's like a little tuxedo.
Beautiful. He just needs a top hat.
Yes, or a bow tie. We were thinking we should get him a bow tie for a costume sometime. But yeah, all right. So here's what we've got. All right, we started at the top this time.
Okay.
And if you like, I can take a picture of this written chakra scan, and when we're done today, I can take a picture of that and send it to you.
That'd be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, of course. But sometimes I write very fast, so I'll go over it verbally now too, but it's nice to have it written down too. Yep. So your 8th chakra, getting this beautiful message that you're already operating on that level, your God self, you're operating at infinite dimensional reality. So that's great, because a lot of people are still working up to 5D or 17D or 111D or whatever. You're at infinite D.
Okay, cool.
Because you're a very old soul, and that part of you remembers all of that. You also have your fairies and your angels assisting. And one word that they had me write down multiple times was art. Okay, and so there's nothing more for you to express. It kind of feels like spiritual art or sacred art. It's like from your heart. It's joyful. It's from your soul, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's 8th chakra, and your score on your 8th chakra was a 9.
Oh, lovely.
So that's great. Now, 7th and 6th are very interconnected, so I'll talk about them together. 7th chakra, the score is between a 6 and an 8, kind of ranges. And the 6th chakra is at a 5, which surprised me because I know that you do very, very powerful sacred work. So I thought that would be higher, but you're doing that sacred work with the 5, which is amazing where you're going to be when you're at an 8 or a 9 or a 10. It's like, wow, amazing. So I was asking what needs to be shifted here. So there's a sort of brain fog that you might get sometimes.
Yep.
And they said some of it is nutritional. And then they mentioned sleep. And then they said ritual, like something to adjust about your nightly ritual for preparing to go to bed. There's something that you need to adjust for that. That will help you get better quality of sleep.
Right.
And then I wrote the word yeast, and I wasn't sure if you have a yeast overgrowth or if you should have nutritional yeast. So do a body check for yourself, because nutritional yeast, the good kind of yeast, is okay. You know, people put it on food for flavor. But if you have too much yeast of an overgrowth, like from dairy or sugar or anything like that, those yeasty beasties can cause brain fog, and they can cause fatigue and digestive upset and things like that. So how is your carb level, your carbohydrate level, and your sugar and dairy intake? How are all those?
I love my cheese. I really do.
Yeah.
But I'm not having it as much as I used to.
Yeah, me too.
So I've cut that down. I'm in the process of making another sourdough starter so that I can make some more of my own bread without the normal yeast. I'm cutting down on the gluten as much as I possibly can. So I I have the brown rice and the gluten-free, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, going gluten-free can help. And then also, it's sugar that, the bad yeast, they live off sugar, but it's not only sugar, like, white sugar. It's anything that has a high, like, glucose level, even like certain fruits or carbohydrates in general,
Okay.
So if you have a yeast overgrowth, sometimes you don't have other symptoms. But if you do, going like really low carb for like a week or two can help. And one of the herbs that helps with that, I'm not a nutritionist, I don't play one on TV, but I know when I had a yeast overgrowth, I researched it, and an herb that I took was pau de arco, and I'll type that in here.
Yes, please.
Because the yeasties do not like that at all.
Okay.
Sage took for yeast overgrowth. And then just reducing sugar and carbs, etc. Okay, there you go. So, and then the other things they suggested was, they said nature, meditation, and ritual. And they said you get a check mark, like you're doing pretty well with nature and meditation. And you can vary and you can do more and so forth, but you're doing that to some degree. And then ritual, you need to do more ritual.
Yep.
And they mentioned that twice, because it's ritual before bed and then just ritual in general. So those were some suggestions. And then the 6th chakra, I said, what's happening? That someone as spiritual as you to have a 5, something's got to be going on. And I got that that's a past life.
Okay.
So there's still some, I know you've dealt with that and you've gone through a lot of layers, but there's still something that hasn't been fully resolved. And it's about fear. It's about fear of like being too spiritual or being too spacey or, you know, being too weird, you know, those kind of fears.
Yep.
So we do recommend that you get healing for that.
Okay.
So whether that's done in the context of HeartSeat here, maybe some other time, or in Daga, or one-on-one, or however you do that. But it's something you need support for. It's not one that you could do for ourselves. I don't feel like any of us can just, for things that are like ancestral and past life, we tend to need support, no matter how good of a healer we are, you know.
Okay.
5th chakra is also at about a 5. And
I have issues with the throat.
Yeah, and one thing they mentioned for that, because you definitely need to get more healing for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we could do some of that in Daga. And then you also might want to do a trade, like maybe with Roxanne or whoever you feel guided to do a trade with, for 5th chakra. And we also want to address that in Daga. And then they gave me 3 affirmations that are remedies for you. So here come 3 empowering affirmations that will help with the 5th chakra. And you can repeat them after me, and you can also write them down. And some of the rest of you are going, yeah, I need this too. So listen up, right? First one is a set of 3. The first one is, I am willing to express all of who I am.
I'm willing to express all of who I am.
Good. Actually, I'm going to unmute everybody because I feel like everybody needs to say that. So in just a second. Trying to figure out how to do that. Relearning the technology every single time. Let's see. If it takes me too long, I'll just move along. But you guys can unmute yourselves too.
I need you to repeat that.
Oh, sure.
Chakra. I'm a little sleepy.
Unmute.
I mean, what the affirmation.
Okay, I got everybody unmuted. Okay, so we'll say it again. I am willing to express all of who I am.
All of who I am. Willing to express all of who I am.
Excellent. Next one is, I am expressing all of who I am.
I am expressing
all of who I am.
All of who I am. All of who I am.
Great. Yeah, and the third one of the three is, I am all of who I am.
I
am all of who I am.
Woo! Perfect. So I am willing to express all of who I am. I am expressing all of who I am, and I am all of who I am. Pretty fun set there, right? Nice package. Perfect. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. And I'm going to mute everybody else again. Thank you. Thank you. That's fantastic.
Thank you, everyone.
You're so on the ball. She's like fast on the trigger there. So cool. Okay, back to Gayle. So recommendations for that: get some healing, Daga, trade, and these affirmations and visualizing. And I know that you do energy work on yourself, so keep doing that. But we do need to get to that root of that, right? Okay. Fourth chakra is just glorious. Your fourth chakra is a 10. Gayle's heart is the size of the world. Gayle is a light worker holding the whole world in her heart and holding the world with love, wrapping with love. So much love. It's just this sense of love just coming out in concentric waves from your heart, honey. Thank you for having such a big, beautiful heart. Thank you for holding the world in your heart.
That makes me cry.
So absolutely delightful. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. And I want to put you in the middle on the view screen again. There she is. Okay. Thank you, you guys. Now, third chakra. Interesting. It's a 6. Combination of stuff going on there. There's some father wound to still heal and male energy issues. There's a leak. Actually got a third chakra leak. Right. And there's some healing about money. Now, I know you've been working on the money bit. So working with a variety of resources, I know you have tools. There's the Angelic Abundance Activator tools. Do you have the Divine Wealth as well? You might have that. I'm not sure if you do or not, but there might be some things in the Divine Wealth program, which I'm not even like actively selling anymore or anything, but I'll take a look in there and see if there was something specific for you for that. I'll check to see if you have access to that or not. And then money, love, like in A3, Angelic Abundance Activator, we have this 4-day, I think, immersion about money equals love. That would be good for you to go back to that part of A3 and do those 4 days.
Okay.
It's the money equals love theme. It should be pretty easy to find if you're on the A3 resources page. You couldn't just scroll down in the turquoise boxes until you see it. Money is love. Ah, there we go. Okay, you'll find it. If you need any help, let me know. But you should be able to find it pretty easily. Okay. Let me see here. Give me just a second. They said it would help if I showed you where it is. So, Angelic. And then okay, so I can tell you what theme it is. Okay, it's days 25 through 28. You know how A3 is like a 40-day immersion? So it's days 25 through 28 is money equals love. And there's some really fun practices to help you with your money, love, energy.
Okay.
In there. Okay, perfect. Thank you, sweetie. Yes, and then so obviously some healing will be great for that, for the third chakra. Second chakra is doing really well. Yay! Second chakra is currently at a 10.
Oh, wow.
And the things that you can do and that you've been doing, and some maybe do more of, just to keep it vibing high, and also to help run some of that second chakra energy up and help it heal, you know, up and down to help to heal the other chakras, because it's such a strong center, as is your fourth chakra. Second chakra things that make your second chakra happy are art, nature, dancing, singing, and writing. So basically letting your inner child out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Playing, yep. Now, of these ideas so far, I'm going to come in just a moment when we're done with the chakra scan. We're going to ask you what you're going to give yourself for home love. Okay? So first chakra, you have two things going on. It's either at a 4 or it's at a 10. It's like a switch.
Right.
When it's a 4, you're worried about money, you're worried about lack, you're worried about flow, you're not charging a lot for your stuff, you're not taking action to attract your ideal clients, and you're getting in your own way, and so forth. So that's the 4. And when you're at a 10, you're like, of course I'm abundant. Of course I'm prosperous. Of course my source is infinite. I have plenty of everything I'm always taking care of. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, God. My life is already fabulous. Whatever amount of money I have, it's perfect. I'm taking care of it. It's great. And more is on the way. And of course I can do what I need to do and attract the people that I'm here to serve, because my work is great. And I'm an expression of source. I'm an expression of God. Like, you just know that, right? So you have these two parts of you that are like at war inside of you. And when you're in the 4 mode, you're like, eh. And then you're in the 10 mode, you're like, wee, you know? So it's like a switch, okay? So I feel like
I can be ambivalent.
Which part of me is doing the talking right now? So some of that you can help self-correct. I'm going to give you an assignment for self-healing, okay? So an assignment for you for self-healing is to actually you're going to create a triangle. One point of the triangle is that part of you that's running that 4 energy. That's kind of the lack. We're going to call her the lack voice, right? The voice of lack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another point of the triangle is the voice of abundance.
Right.
So she's at the 10. Okay. And then the third point of the triangle is your highest self.
Okay.
And your highest self is like the director, the coordinator, the conductor, right? The mediator. So I want them to have a 3-way conversation. This is your self-healing home love.
Right.
And some of the rest of you might give this to yourself as an assignment too, with the same exact parts of lack, abundance, and highest self. Or your 3-way conversation might be different. It might be more health related, or it might be love related, you know, right? So you have the old belief, that's the BS. Then you have the healthy, positive belief that you want to be vibing at more of the time. All of the time would be great, but even 90% would be an amazing life, right? And then you have your highest self kind of coordinating and directing the show and helping these two talk to each other, because they're living in different worldviews completely. Like, they are looking at the same thing, like an apple, and they're seeing 2 totally different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so that highest self, she's going to help them understand each other, but also see the real truth.
Right. Okay.
Be the real truth, and open, so that abundance voice, which is the voice of love, because they're also basically love or fear. Another way of looking at it is highest self, fear, love, for triangle,
Right. Okay.
right? And helping that energy of love. It's not about overpowering the voice of fear. It's helping the voice of fear understand that the stuff that it's looking at as proof is not really there.
Right.
Right.
So it's basically
helping it have a new perspective.
Yeah. Fear knocks on the door, faith opens it, and there's no one there.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have a really fun home love assignment, and some of the rest of us may choose to do that too, of that 3-way conversation. High self, fear, and love. And then what I want from every single one of you who does this as a self-love, healing, home love, is share with us on our Facebook group. You can share in our Gold Wisdom School chat too, but if you put it on the Facebook group, it's kind of easier to see.
Yep.
I mean, because you know how chats are. It's like, well, where was that thing? You have to like scroll. It's harder to find things in a chat later. But if you, we'll make a post, and I'm going to call it your 3-way self-healing conversation. Okay. It's your 3-way self-healing conversation. I'll make a post, and I'll say, hey, everybody, share with us what you learned from your 3-way self-healing conversation. And just out of curiosity, who else is feeling called to do that? Is there anybody else who's like, yeah, I'm doing that? Okay, Monica says yes. Was your hand up, Joy? Do you still have Halloween hair? I'm glad you're here. It's so nice to see you, sweetie. There's Joy. Yay! Yay! Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, great. Good. So Gayle, if you could summarize to me, based on this pretty in-depth chakra scan that we just did, what do you know that you're going to do for home love this month? Let's just say for the whole month of November. Some of these things you'll do right away. Some of them you'll do a little bit later. What are your home loves that arose, and your action steps? Some of them are things you're going to do for yourself, and some of them might be getting support, you know.
Right. I'll definitely do that 3-way discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll post on the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
The past life for the 6th chakra. Yeah, I get a lot of brain fog, so I can understand it's nutritional, because I went off the rails there for a bit. Something chronic.
Yeah. So you're going to make some nutritional corrections as well? Is that what I'm hearing?
I made that decision and I've started, so it's not an issue.
Right. Good. So you're going to continue with your healthier eating. Good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep. I definitely need to remember to go to bed early.
Yeah.
Early is what I do. As far as the ritual, yeah, I've pinpointed what I need to do for that as well, so that's not an issue. I had cut out white sugar most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't realize the carbs were included in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can fix that.
And we need some carbs. It's okay to have some carbs. You just want to like reduce it for a couple weeks.
Pardon? I didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, you don't have to go to 0 carbs, and of course vegetables have carbs too. So those are always like have lots of vegetables, you know.
Right.
But you can still, even if you're doing like a yeast a dressing protocol for a little while, you can have some carbs. It's just that depending upon how regimented you are, is how quickly you can kind of, you know, create the shift, you know. Yeah, but you don't have to be so extreme. Like I don't do well with extreme diets. I just get like, it makes me weaker. So trust your body. Like if your body says, oh, okay, I'm just going to cut my starch type carbs. I'm going to cut them down by 30%, or I'm going to cut them down by 50%, or whatever, you know, just like make an adjustment that feels okay to your body, you know. But sometimes if we notice that we're craving carbs or we're craving sugar, like, oh God, I just have to have a bowl of pasta, or I have to have some bread, or it's not even always sugar, you know. Sometimes I have to have, sometimes that's the yeast doing the talking. That's just like wanting that immediate fix because that feeds the colony. So if you're craving carbs or sugar, don't trust that. In general, it's like that could be who's doing it. Okay, great. So we have those, and how about these affirmations that we came up with?
The affirmations I thought were really good, so I'll be doing those.
Great.
How often do you recommend I do them?
You know, what I like to do is make a card. You know me and index cards, right? And I like colorful index cards. So I pick a color that sort of, you know, goes with that theme. And I'll write maybe 1 or 2 or 3 just on the card, and then I'll keep it visible on my desk or next to my bed, and I'll keep working with it for a while, you know. So I mean, ideally you would do your affirmation sets like 3 times a day: morning, upon waking, just before bed. That's 2 of them right there. And then 1 just throughout the day, just whenever you take a break or whenever you see it, you know. That's ideal. But even if you did it once a day, it's still better than nothing, right? Yeah. And we have a nice book in Wisdom School. Maybe Jan can look up for me where exactly it is. It's the Put Your Affirmations on Warp Drive.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
And it just reminds you, if you need a reminder, you might not need a reminder, but some people might enjoy seeing all these different ways to work with affirmations. Because sometimes we just do the same thing where we look at them, we read them, or we write them, or whatever. But that's just 2 or 3 things. Look at them, read them, write them. That's 3 ways. But there's actually lots more ways to do stuff with your affirmations. So that makes it fun, you know. Yeah. Great. Okay, perfect. I think you have a very good set of Homeloves. And we're going to follow up with you about your 3-way conversation. And then you can explore getting some healing supports for the 6th chakra, the 5th chakra, the 3rd chakra, and the 1st chakra.
No worries.
And as always, you'll do as much as you can for yourself, and we're here for you. And you can always have more in another HeartSeat too. It's just, you know, in a couple of months or whatever, you know. And I'm so glad you got in the HeartSeat today.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
And you're very welcome. And thank you to Jan for kind of like nudging you into the HeartSeat. She's like, hey, Gayle needs one. And Jan, I really appreciate how you hold the space for everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Just trying to, because we want every single one of you to feel like a VIP. Every single one of you, we want you to be treated as golden. And your progress, your transformation, your success, your happiness, your evolution is very, very important to me and to Jan and to the angels and all of us here. So, you know, we're here to help you optimize your path. So we love you all so much. Mwah! And Gayle, I just love you. Would you like a hug?
Yes, please.
Huggies, as you say, huggies. And not the diapers.
Never say no to a hug.
A real hug. Nice group hug.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thanks
wonderful.
Everyone for holding space. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We are so blessed. So what we have coming up next in Wisdom School, I always like to give you guys a little look ahead. This is our big one for the month, right? And then Tuesday the 5th, some of you who are very newish are on the list for the bonus Guidathon, which is going to be 4 p.m. Tuesday the 5th. If you've joined Wisdom School within the last like month or 6 weeks, you're probably on that list. Otherwise, you're a veteran And veterans, you don't get to come to that one. You had a bonus one when you came in, you guys. You did. I know you did. I was there. Okay, this is their turn to have for the new students. Okay, and then Angelic Money Reiki will be on the 15th at 4 p.m. Pacific. That's a Friday. And just to look forward, I'm going to come up with our schedule for January through June fairly soon. And I was just wanting to hear from you guys if you do like the idea of us having, like, all of our sessions, our Guidathons and our AMR sessions. Do you like the idea of having them always on Fridays? Like we have one of each on a Friday? Or do you like the idea of, I'm pretty attached to the AMRs staying on Fridays because that seems to work for people. Or do you like the idea of the Guidathon moving around to different days? Like it could be a Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. Those are all fine with me. Who would like Fridays? Like stick with Friday. We have a rhythm, we have a groove, we just go Friday. Okay. And who would like some rotation? Like sometimes Guidathons are Tuesday or
I've
Thursday.
had feedback.
Yeah.
That like Shara from Israel, you know, the people out of the country, Friday's kind of a bad day for her, but the time has been changing, so she's gonna have a HeartSeat on the first I guess December 13th.
Yeah, she's on the list for December. Yeah.
So,
and let's put Lenka on the list for December.
I'm there. I'm kind of totally devoted to you and Archangel Michael. So it brings me such joy, like working on the Money Reiki. I got to feel all you guys who were in there, and there's lots of channeling and from Archangel Michael, and there's voice things of Archangel Michael, and
yeah,
Rick was singing, and I am diligently trying to get it done. It's kind of long this time, and also every time somebody, I mentioned this before, gets on the new gold chat and does something, sticker, then I'm at the spot up where, you know, where the Money Reiki is, and it goes zoom right to the bottom. And I have to scroll up and try to find my spot again. So I'm learning. We're getting more active on this new Zoom chat. So I'm finding hours when people are less likely to, like I had to just forget it this morning before the Guidathon.
Oh yeah, because we were all chatting, sure.
Yeah.
Obviously right before a Guidathon or right before an AMR.
I want you to have it, and it is so cool. And there are more affirmations. Homelove from Archangel Michael. So soon.
Oh, that's great. No, that's perfect. And you might, I don't know if you can copy them and then paste it, but it's not easy to do that because each little comment in a chat, it's like you have to copy it separately.
No. I can scroll down, and what I do is I keep my finger on and make it blue, scroll all the way down, almost to the bottom, and then I copy it. But the problem is, at one time, I would sometimes get the names and the little pictures. But I think my computer is so full, it doesn't tell me who's talking. So,
well, anyway, I just want to thank you, Jan. Thank you so much for all of your efforts with that. And every month, Jan puts in hours of work every month to turn our chat, that's our Angelic Money Reiki chat session, into a beautiful, easy to read, attractively laid out, wonderful ebook.
Part
so
of my
if you haven't been looking at those ebooks, go look at the ebooks. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Right. We got more to do.
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you, Jan. That's great. So if you guys have any personal feedback about days of the week, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, for Guidathons, let me know. You can just send me a message. But I'm seeing, so far what I'm seeing typed here is Fridays. I see 4 people in a row said Fridays. So that looks like 4 for 4 so far. That's good. Okay, good to know. How about if we give Archangel Michael a chance to get on the mic? He wasn't sending the pressure from his end like he needed to come on the mic. I feel like we're pretty complete, but I also feel like some of you will feel more complete if we have at least a taste of Archangel Michael today. So let's give him a moment to kind of giving us like a kind of a like an angelic pep talk for the month, right? That's kind of what he does. All right, so let's see what he would like to share with us. Thank you, you guys. Beautiful beloveds, Archangel Michael here with you and always and coming at ya. And this is your month of November, although some of you are hearing this at another time. I want you to take a moment right now to reflect on how far you have come. Now, when I said that, how far back did your consciousness go? Did you think of how far you've come this year? Did you think of how far you've come in the last month or several months? Or did you think of how far you've come from way, way back? Now, I want you to collect your own soul energy and go as far back. Imagine that you're sending your spirit hands as far back as your consciousness went when you first heard me say that, and collect your energy, because you are here for a rapid transformation. You signed up for it. Yes, you did. Sometimes you jokingly say to God that you want to unsign up for it. But in truth, that's not your highest self talking. You don't want to unsign up for it. You want to be one of the awakening tribe here on earth. You want to accomplish, experience, achieve, learn, and understand as much as you possibly can in this lifetime. That's what you really want. Sometimes it's not easy from the human perspective. I understand that. That is why God sent us, the angels, to you, to help you when it's not easy, and to help you smooth your path, to help light your path for you, and to help you see and sense the multitude of paths that you have, to understand your choices, and to choose with love. So please remember, even if times are tough sometimes, that you are tougher and you are stronger and you are more powerful, because love is your power. God is your source. And there are no limits to what you can do or who you are. It's the beginning of a month right now, for those of you who are attending live. I want you to write down 3 words. These 3 words are your themes for this month. And this is a great thing to do at the beginning of every month. You know how some of you set a theme for the year? Some people have a word or theme for the whole year. And that's fine. If you didn't do that this year, that's fine too. And I am going to ask you to have a triple theme for this month. And you can type it. You can write it down. Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to do that. Trust the 3 words that you get. And you might have some symbols or some energy with this as well. Sage, you can go ahead and type yours. We're going to make an adjustment right now. Whereby you get to shift your own energy field, your own perspective, so that you look out at your life, at your world, and even at yourself, and especially at the people in your life, through these filters. Don't use Sage's 3. Use your own. Go ahead and type them if you haven't yet. Or if you feel like they're private, that's okay too. You don't have to type them. Or if you're watching the replay. But I want you to take them one at a time, and we're going to do this right now. So take your first one, your first theme, and you're going to turn it into a filter. How do you do that? Archangel Raphael and I are assisting you. Now, Sage, we're going to put you in the heart seat, and I am going to demonstrate this with you, for you, on you, to you, if that is okay with you. Good. So Sage, your first quality, your first filter is beauty. So we're making an adjustment on your eyes and your spirit eyes. And your statement to help you see life through the eyes of beauty is, I see my life through the eyes of beauty. You can also state that in slightly different ways, like I see the world through eyes of beauty. I see beauty everywhere. I see myself through the eyes of beauty. I see everything and everyone through the eyes of beauty. You see? Yes, thank you. Now we're going to take your second one, Sage, peace. And your statement is, I feel peace. And now you can build upon that. I feel peace everywhere. I feel peace no matter what. And this is in your heart, isn't it, Sage? That's why you placed your hands there. Beauty was in your eyes, and your consciousness, in your mind. Peace is in your heart and your soul. I feel peaceful no matter what. I feel peaceful every day. I always feel peaceful. I remember to feel peaceful. I allow myself to feel peaceful. I am peaceful. Good. Now we're going to take your third one, Sage, abundance. And your statement is, I create abundance. And guess where this is located? In your hands. I create abundance in all that I do. I create abundance everywhere. I co-create abundance with my soul family. I love creating abundance. It's easy for me to create abundance. And so on. Good. This completes today's message and vibrational adjustment for you. Now, I want you to go out this whole month and play with, work with, explore with, see with, feel with, create with your 3 qualities. And notice how everything changes, because how you look at everything changes. How you choose to feel everything changes. The intention, awareness, and energy that you bring to your life changes. Many blessings and infinite love from Archangel Michael and your divine team. Over and out. Wow. Hey guys, I was in the heart seat. That's pretty fun. I didn't even sign up for that, but I mean, I signed up for it, you know. That's pretty funny. All right, that was cool. So beauty, peace, and abundance are mine. So I'm going to write them on an index card, and I'm going to remind myself and just keep imbuing with those. I'm going to play with some affirmations with those. And I'm going to remember just in little moments, that's part of his message. It's like, it's those little moments of awareness that add up to a life of joy. Not if it makes sense. Make sense? Yay. All right, cool. And just curious, checking your ears out. Act, be, move. Very interesting, Patricia. Monica's are integration, support, and expand. Gayle's are trust, self-love, self-nurture, and play. And Janet's are discipline, love of self, and health. Very cool. All right, wonderful. Great. So let's unmute ourselves. Everybody, you guys can unmute yourselves, or I'll unmute you. Unmute. Patricia is right there. You're just like, gold star. You're so quick. Thank you for always paying attention, just being right there. I love that. That's so great. Wonderful. All right. So we are going to complete today's immersion with some gratitude. So it's the month of gratitude, right? We're going to continue doing our 10 breaths of gratitude. That's on our home love list this month as well. Our things that we've been doing, you know, since last week, we have our 2 audios that we created last week. We have our 10 breaths of gratitude and journaling, gratitude journaling, right? And then what else? Gratitude. You can send thank you notes to people, right? Thank someone. Who do you need to thank? You know, I'm remembering I want to leave a positive Yelp review for 1 or 2 businesses that are coming to mind where they went over and above, over and above the line of duty, over and beyond what one expects from that particular service. And I want to just Yelp them out and help them out. Yelp them out and help them out. There you go. So is there someone that you want to leave a review for? Is there someone that you want to send an email to, or a message, or a written note, or a concept, right? Right? So this could be something that you just kind of weave into your gratitude this month, right? So I want to say thank you, and we're going to say all of us together on a big 1, 2, 3, thank you. And that's a thank you to each other, right? And it's a thank you to yourself for being here. And it's a thank you to God and your angels and Goddess and life. So here's your big thank you. And I really want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah, 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 mwah. So bye, dear hearts. I will see you next time. And it was great to be here with you. Have a wonderful weekend. A fantastic first weekend in the month. And enjoy your qualities and your filters and your home love and just everything. And remember how amazing you are, because you are beautiful. And I love you. See you soon, guys. See you. Congratulations to everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.